everybody, and welcome to the next episode of Red Coin, the Nintendo podcast. In today's episode, we get together to talk about the Pokemon announcement where we finally got to know the names of the legendaries. We also talk about how we went at the recent VGC 16 tournament in Perth, and we discuss a little bit about E3 and what we hope to expect.
It's a whole new way to see. It's a whole new place with a brand new attitude, but you still gotta catch 'em all.
Hello and welcome to the first June episode of Red Coin, the Nintendo podcast.
Oh, it is a chilly June night.
It's bloody freezing.
It's 11 degrees, I think.
It's a chilly June night. E3 is in the air.
They got floods like over in the eastern states, and here we are just saying it's cold.
Nah, man, it's cold.
Yeah,
Well-
all in perspective.
As it gets colder, the games get hotter.
Hey.
It's been a busy couple of weeks.
It
this
is.
last episode.
And we've got E3 next week, so, you know,
Next week, man. It
A
just
very-
catches up on you.
Feels like it was it feels like it's been a year.
it actually has been a year, I think, since we last talked about our first, it was Red Coin's first E3. So I'm here, my name's Adam, and I'm here with Aaron.
Hi, Em.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. Had a good weekend, I take it.
I had a great weekend. By the end of the VGC comp on Sunday, I was just so tired. I think I slept for like 14 hours on Monday.
Well, I mean, winning the VGC. Oh, we'll leave that till later.
Let's not bury the lead. Ooh, hey. Cam, how are you?
I'm good. I'm cold. I'm wrapped up in a blanket on the couch right now.
Yes.
I got a jumper on and long pants. I'm still freezing.
It's very, I put on another layer before I got here
Chisel ice
to
blocks
make
off that
sure
hardy
that
of
I
this town.
Yeah,
did not have to. And Chris, how are you doing?
I'm good, thanks, Adam. I guess the reason why we're doing this intro today is because we've probably got a few new listeners
Yes.
on the weekend. So we did a bunch of promotion with the VGC competition in Perth. So,
The regional competition held at the Perth Town Hall.
yes,
We'll
so
take this opportunity to say hello to any of the new listeners.
Yes.
Everyone that we met at VGC tournament. Hello.
Yeah.
Welcome to the podcast.
Hello,
Well,
welcome.
at the regionals, we should get
Regional.
Right.
yeah. I
The
had a
regionals.
mind blank there.
And thank you for listening too, and thank you for electing to listen to
Yeah,
us.
we
And
met a lot of cool people, so it was really nice to see people enthusiastic about Nintendo games and Pokemon and all that sort
We'll
of thing.
get into it more, but just the turnout of young people who are actually like
So
knowing
cool.
what's going on. If I wish I knew that much about the actual meta when I was that age. They've got
they've
big-
got a real hyper awareness of it. Like, good on them.
That's just the ages now, technology.
But you know what I
it's
think
easier.
it is as well? Yeah, I relate it back to my age, and I was 10 and 11 when Pokemon were coming out, and like a lot of things, like the internet wasn't as ubiquitous.
Yeah.
So it allowed for a lot more rumors to go around. It was very hard to sort of keep up. And there wasn't really competitive scene with this thing because we didn't know what it was.
Yeah, but and like EVs and IVs were like secret for ages.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It was like hidden. Like Nintendo didn't talk about it. Sorry, Pokemon Company didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
But now
So-
they're actually talking about
Some
it.
of the seniors and juniors really switched on. I was really impressed by that.
Kids these days won't know the troubles of trying to get to the truck to get a Mew.
That was leaving your game on for 1,000 hours.
But where we are now, so it's Tuesday right now. We're a couple of days out from the VGC
VGC.
regionals.
But let's not bury the lead here.
Yeah, before we get into that, we had some news before regionals recently. Adam, what do we have?
Well, the Pokemon Company decided to drop a new trailer, a fresh, crispy fresh trailer of Pokemon Sun and Moon.
And as we predicted, it was the legendaries essentially.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I correctly said
Yeah.
on the podcast, I was like, these will be the names of the legendaries and typings.
So the first trailer we saw the starters, and we saw the legendaries. We didn't get
There was
any
no
information
names,
about
no
them.
info.
Yes.
This one we got. We didn't even see the starters at all, which I thought was weird. We didn't see,
Nah.
didn't see images of them, but we did see the legendaries.
All we got was disappointment.
We got
Yeah.
names, we
Yes.
got abilities, and
Yes.
we got signature moves and
We got
typings.
sort of abilities. I'll talk about that in a
Well,
second.
let's run through it. So the names of the Sun Legendary is Solagio.
Salangio?
So it's
I can never
No,
pronounce it
Adam,
right.
it's Solgaleo.
So
Solgaleo.
There
Solgaleo,
we go,
sorry.
there we
it's because it's Solar and Leo. That's
we
in
go.
line.
Yeah.
So
And so Sol.
So it's fire
Galeo,
type, right?
Soul
you thought it would be a fire type? I also thought it would be a fire type.
Why would you think the Sun Pokemon would be a fire type? That makes
It's
no
fire
sense.
type, isn't it?
No.
No, Chris is
No,
actually a
Chris.
psychic steel type.
That makes
Obviously.
absolutely no sense, Adam.
It's
Why would they
weak
do
to
that?
fire.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
So that's
But we did see
weird.
a signature move, which I can't remember what it's called exactly, but we saw it jumping up and kind of...
Sunsteel Strike is the move,
It is.
Aaron. And
Yes.
I reckon this is going to be one of those dual type moves.
Yeah.
It might be a
must
fire
be.
steel type
has
move.
to
That
be.
would be super cool, and that would kind of give it a bit more like
So it still
fire,
has
I guess.
Credibility,
Stab,
I
wouldn't it?
guess.
Yeah, it would have stab. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so I mean that's cool. And then I think in terms of the ability we had, it was a little bit disappointing. So they were billing it as this new ability, right?
It's all new ability.
This
It's
all
just
new
Metagross,
ability.
right?
Yeah.
Well, the ability was full metal body.
Yes, which doesn't allow for the stats to be lowered.
All we saw was Salangius.
Solagio.
Salandria, yeah. Celery.
This is going to get to me now.
Solgaleo.
I, had
yeah.
it, I swear I had it down before the episode, guys.
Like, he's up against an Intimidate Salamence, right?
Salamence, yeah. So Salamence comes out, uses Intimidate, and you see that the Legendary's stats are not lowered is what flashes up on the screen.
Yeah.
Which seems to most people as the same effect as Clear Body, which
Yeah.
is what Metagross
Well, it is, yeah, exactly.
And this is weird because Metagross is also Steel Psychic, which is the
Yeah.
same typing.
It's so redundant.
Yeah.
So,
And I mean, already I had criticisms believing that the Legendary looked a little bit Entei-esque
Yeah,
in terms of a bipedal dog sort of animal
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
fire
Fire type, yeah,
tendencies. But
At least it looks cool.
It does look very cool.
it does
yeah.
look very cool, and it, but I would be interested to see how it works, if they do anything different. Again, to me, I must say, the idea of legendary Pokemon has gotten worse and worse over time. I think
Yep.
legendary Pokemon, it's so tough, right? Because there's this,
There should be no more than 5 a gen, but now we've got 16.
it's
that's-
a lot.
It's like, how rare are these and how legendary are they?
Well, yeah, but it seems like every new area has its own legendary Pokemon, and I guess that makes sense. But for me, I don't really stick with these legendary Pokemon because ultimately,
I
to
catch
me,
them and bank them.
you catch them and bank
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
Or it's like you don't feel like a real Pokemon trainer using them because I guess maybe it's the rationale of the show that like these things are not owned by
Yeah.
everyday people. Every now and then you might see someone own one of them, and you're like, wow, that's a really strong trainer. But
Yeah.
to me, it seems like there's been a real tendency for Pokemon to lean on the legendary Pokemon genre
Yep.
because they think, oh, it's our excuse to make these godlike Pokemon that look cool and have these massive abilities that can destroy people. And that's kind of indicative of the VGC format, which we'll talk a little bit about later.
But the annoying thing, Adam, is like now the legendaries, before you talk about the Moon one, it's like they're not hard to catch anyway anymore because
No.
they're based on the story of the games. So
Yes.
you have to have the Pokemon to
Since-
advance the story.
Since
Yes.
Black and White, I've caught every legendary
Yeah,
in
and
a
they
Pokeball.
have like 45 catch rate, which is like, high, or probably not that high, but some will quote me
Yeah.
on that.
Remember
Yeah.
Mewtwo in the first?
Yeah, like they
that
should be
thing,
hard to
you
catch.
had
And if,
to use
You had to use your
Master
Master Ball, basically.
Yeah.
It was very, very
if they
hard.
make the legendaries hard to catch again, I think that you'll see them get more importance.
I think it's tough though.
But they're not
because-
going to do that because
Because
it's
then I
story-based.
look at like things like I don't know if you've ever tried catching a Beldum in the wild. It has the same catch rate as legendaries.
It's like 3,
do.
yeah.
It's a 3. So I mean, it's tough for me to say because it's like I don't know if that's the thing. I think I'd love to see them do a game where they have the 2 legendary Pokemon on the box and that's
it.
it.
Yeah.
But
And maybe the third
they're
one or something.
too into themselves with these movies. They have to have a
Yeah.
movie with a marquee legendary Pokemon, and hence.
I mean, it's the mascot for the game,
Yeah.
and they've been doing it for a while, but the game has been made easier just to give a wider audience.
Mm-hmm.
So they're gonna make the mascot. It's like Pikachu. Imagine if you couldn't catch a Pikachu in the first game.
Yeah.
It's like, what would be the point?
So we spoke about someone. What about Moon one? Adam?
Okay, so the moon one is called Lunala. A little bit easier to say.
Yeah.
Well, a lot easier to say.
Lumilau.
And its type is Psychic Ghost, and its ability is Shadow Shield.
Now, Aaron, I spoke to you about this, and I spoke to Chris about this separately. In the video, I couldn't see anything that mentioned what its special ability was, but Chris,
Yeah.
you were saying that it was
I
basically
didn't see anything there
multi-scale.
either.
Yeah, it is multi-scale, basically.
But-
It's on the website. Yeah.
So
Was it in
Shadow
the video?
Shield.
No, it wasn't in the video.
Okay, that's okay. When I spoke to you about it
Maybe
originally,
in
I
the
thought you had
Japanese
seen
trailer or
something
something.
I
Yeah,
didn't see.
I don't know. It's definitely on the
So,
website.
so it just means that the Pokemon will take less damage from
At
an
full
attack that lands when the Pokemon has full HP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it just
They're
reduces
both
the damage.
really
It's
just
multi-scale,
not
yeah.
good. Like, I mean, they're both of those abilities are good, but like, just it's nothing.
But even
new.
the fact that they're billed as new abilities is a bit disappointing. Like,
yeah, just
be
call it
upfront about
multi-scale.
it and admit that they're not new abilities just because they have a different name to them.
We haven't
Yeah.
had a good multi-scale Pokemon since Dragonite, to be honest.
I mean,
Yeah,
That's the
you're
only
right.
one.
And this has actually swayed me into probably buying the Moon version. Yeah.
So,
I
has
actually
anyone
agree.
completely changed? Was anyone going to go Sun? They've changed to Moon now.
I,
I
was
was
moon. I was moon from the start. So
For me, it's tough because I always buy the more blue version. If that's
yeah.
There's
Everyone
a word
knows there's
to
a red
it.
and the blue version, yeah.
So, like, to me, the moon one did seem more blue, but I just felt more compelled to go the sun.
Yeah.
But now I do generally feel compelled to go moon.
I was always going to go moon. I think I'll stay in moon.
But again, I'm going to reserve judgment until I see all the version
I'll be
exclusives.
getting both anyway. I always get both and then trade across the starters.
certainly.
And then...
So we spoke about
It's
how
just not an issue anymore, really, to be honest.
Yeah.
we spoke about how the sun legendary is weak to fire.
Yes.
Now should we talk about how the moon legendary is 4 times weak to dark?
Yes. So its typing is psychic. It is psychic ghost,
Yes.
which means, I mean,
So they're
ghost
both
is
psychic.
more of a befitting type in terms of moon.
Yeah.
But it's still weak to dark. So maybe ghost dark would have been a more.
Yeah.
But I really think it's interesting that these legendary Pokemon, why are they psychic? Like psychic. There's so many psychic type legendaries.
Psychic is like the legendary type.
It really is. Like, and dragon is always like the pseudo legendary
Pseudo type, yeah.
So it's like, and then like, I feel like you can have powerful legendaries that don't have to be psychic or dragon.
Yeah, like where's the poison type, you know? Like I'd love to see a poison type legendary just to combat the new fairy, like.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So, I don't know. Pretty disappointing.
Like a snake king or something like that. Like maybe not
Sure,
something
yeah,
like
that would be
basic.
cool, yeah.
Like that'd
A
be cool.
Hydra? I guess you got Hydreigon, but like a better one.
Like a poison type Hydra.
Mm.
But, you know, again, we can say all these suggestions or whatever. We're not the ones making the game, so...
No, we are not.
And, like, I have no imagination whatsoever, but I feel like it's tough for me seeing these Pokemon because they are so uninspired, but maybe we'll see more things
Does
come
anyone
out.
else agree that Lunala looks like Noivern and Cresselia had a baby?
Yeah, definitely.
I definitely
Yeah.
agree with that. Yeah.
Which I can appreciate too, because, well, Cresselia is meant to be the moon.
The Lunar Pokemon,
Yeah.
yeah. So maybe they have some sort of tie-in, but I seriously doubt it. They're probably going to distance themselves from Gen 4.
Yeah.
I think the thing that stuck out with me the most, and Chris, this is what I messaged you frantically after I saw the video,
Yes.
is Rotom Pokedex.
Yes.
What
Oh,
a
yeah.
revelation.
So-
that is so
I love
cool.
it. I
So the
love
people
it.
that didn't see the trailer, so in this game, for the first time ever, you get a Pokedex that is inhabited by a Rotom. And so this Pokemon, this Pokedex does different things, you know, like they always do.
Yeah, yeah.
But it tells you where you are and where you need to go. You can even talk to it because it's now transient and has the properties of a Pokemon. So I must say this was one announcement I got really jazzed about.
Yeah.
As someone who in the past disliked Rotom immensely and thought that his different typings were dumb and how he took over appliances.
Guys, I'm really excited about this, but I'm also a bit worried about something.
What are you worried
I'm
about?
worried that we're not going to have our standard professor in the game telling us we can't ride bikes indoors, and it's going to be Rotom telling us to do the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
instead.
Buzzing at you.
I think I prefer that.
Yeah,
I
me
don't.
too.
I honestly don't like the idea of an omnipresent, omniscient professor who can see you at all
Yeah,
times.
No, but they did say they have changed that language to say
Yeah.
like his words echo.
Yeah,
like in
yeah.
the back of your mind, like don't ride your bike. Don't ride your bike in the house.
can't steal another trainer's Pokemon.
But don't you think, Adam, it would be cool if the Rotom is like the new HM slave?
I think that'd be great, and that's something we talked about off air as a real suggestion that they could do.
That would be a revelation if they did that. I'd be very happy
I mean,
with
we
that.
know Rotom doesn't necessarily have the best move set around.
Well, yeah, it can't learn any HMs. But
But it can't, and it
they
can't
can
learn
change
any
that.
HMs. But imagine they could change that and have the Pokedex do those things, and finally.
Can we send our Pokedex to battle?
No.
No, but I mean, ultimately, I want to see it clear up 2 slots on my
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Like, you know, to not have to have... Like, I like Gyarados as much as the next person, but to not have to think about, well, I better have a Gyarados at hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that would be
where's your
great.
Bumblebee when you need it?
Yeah.
So I think that's a really exciting thing to see what will happen and see what they can do in terms of Pokedexes. I'm just thinking about, like, probably the coolest Pokedex interface was actually Hoenn. I really enjoyed the Pokenav thing because they had
the
the map in
remakes
there.
were good. Yeah.
Like the fact that, like, you know, they regressed after Hoenn originally and then had the town map in your item box. It was so like clunky
Pretty
to
archaic,
drag it out. It was archaic. So again, I'm hoping with Rotom, you know, there was a photo where he's showing a map, he's showing you where to go. I think that'll be really good to see, especially something in an island location.
Something I saw online on a Pokemon board
Yes.
was they were breaking down, you know, all the stills from the video.
Yes.
And there's one where you're looking at the Rotom Dex, and there's like waypoints. It looks like waypoints, so it looks like there's actually a live GPS on your bottom screen.
That's
Wow.
cool. Yeah,
So
there
if that's
actually,
the
yeah,
case, that
there
would
is
be
a
really
map.
cool.
There is a map actually. Yeah, so that would be awesome.
I think that's going to try and make the game a little bit easier and more accessible to people because, I mean, we don't have these issues, but there's always a certain time you hit it in the game where it's like, where do I go next?
Yeah.
Like, where do I go? And
I was
so
like
having
that
those
with Sapphire because I never played it originally. So when
Yeah.
I was playing this one, I'm just like, I am so lost.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if they would put in like real response time. So like because the Rotom is inside your Pokedex, if while you're playing and you go to get on your bike indoors, if there's actual like warning signs and a voice coming from your DS, like they actually voice it.
That would be amazing
That'd
if
be
your
really
DS
cool.
microphone worked like that, or speakers or something.
Yeah.
That'd be
That'd be
cool.
pretty cool. It'd be
Yeah.
like Rotom's possessing your DS.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that would be. It'd be so interactive. It's just so immersive. That I think that would be awesome.
So on top of the Rotom decks, we also got we've got to meet a few of the characters from around Alola.
Yes.
Sexy professor,
Yep.
So,
He's married, Cam.
still sexy.
So
He's-
this
he's
professor,
getting a bit of a fan following. He
he's
is.
very tan.
Yes, very
Muscular.
Yes, bare-chested.
So this guy is so hilarious. Typical Hawaiian fashion, wears grey pants and a white lab jacket to prove that he's a professor.
Oh, that-
I mean, you got to
proves
play it safe.
but
You-
doesn't wear a shirt.
That proves it. Yeah.
You know?
He could be splashing chemicals all over his chest.
Yeah.
It's not safe here.
So this guy is Professor Kukui.
Kukui.
which is, I guess,
Quickly.
a tree in.
Yeah, it must be another tree.
It's a
Yeah.
Hawaiian
For those of you who don't know yet, all the professors are named after trees.
Yes. And they've shown us a couple more characters as well. And Lily is Kukui's mysterious assistant, which is
Yeah.
the words they've used.
Yes.
Which makes me believe she knows something about
I
Mega
think,
Evolution,
and this
probably.
is going to be my prediction.
Yes.
Okay. She's Colress's daughter.
Colress's daughter.
Who's Colress?
Colress, the bad guy from
X and Y? Interesting.
Ah.
That's
Calling it
interesting.
now. I'm calling
Okay.
it now, or at least some relation to him.
Again, I'm not that developed into the lore of Pokemon or invested, so I'd be curious to see if there is any relation.
She's mysterious though. That's what
Yeah,
we know.
she is mysterious. And then how is your new friend in Aloha? So he talks about chicken skin
Is that what he said?
in the video. Yeah, he says, who that gave me chicken skin?
Goosebumps.
Goosebumps.
Oh, okay, I get you.
Well,
That's a weird.
I
thing to
think that
say.
is a
A poor. I think
probably
Poor
like a winner is you. Poor translation.
that's a very poor translation. That
So I'd
gave
be
me chicken
interested
skin.
to see what the localization team has been up to if they've not okayed that one. And so again, probably another rival or another.
Yeah, it's a
NPC.
friendly rival,
It's
yeah.
friendly
it's your
NPC.
Tian and
I hope we have them both as rivals, and all
Yeah.
three of us get a start.
if not direct rivals, like the other ones, like you battled everyone at one point, I think.
Well, last game we had X and Y. We had 5.
It was like
five?
a posse.
That
Yeah,
big
and
group.
There's almost too many because
Yeah, too
many.
like all those characters were not very well
Black and
developed
White,
and they
we
were
had
annoying.
Sharon and
Like a Rhyhorn
another
race.
girl
Bianca,
as well,
yeah.
Bianca. So we
Or
had-
depending on your character, yeah.
yeah.
So that's cool. And then I think the coolest news to come out that wasn't necessarily shown that much in the trailer, but sort of revealed afterwards. There's a QR scanner function that allows you to see
Yeah.
information about a Pokemon when you scan QR code patterns. So you can check info about the Pokemon that corresponds to that QR code. There are QR patterns in various places all around you, so try scanning them. So this is interesting. Like, where would these codes be? I imagine these codes are in the real world, but
I guess just
I
real.
hope this
like,
links to Pokemon Go.
yeah,
That'd be cool.
I
But-
think it's just gonna be. It's like the old. What was the game? It was like some Digimon game or something where you could scan barcodes and you would get monsters. It was
I
like
feel
a monster
I
game.
feel like this is something we've gone way past though,
Yeah.
and I feel like
I feel like
don't think
QR
it'll be
codes
the
are a bit trite, to be quite honest.
not
like, they
if
seem
I
like
think
an
that
old
we're getting them
technology.
straight to my mobile devices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's something
Yeah.
where if you catch a Pokemon in Pokemon Go, you can view your QR card. You can scan that into
Or
your game.
even if like
But
catching in Pokemon Go maybe updates your decks.
Yeah, but I just think like I'm looking at it. I'm like, so we know QR codes link to a website.
Yes.
So what I don't want to see is you scan the QR code, it has to connect to the internet, it opens up a website, and something happens or whatever. Like that seems a really clunky interface.
Yeah,
to me,
I don't
Chris.
trust them yet with that sort of technology to make it seamless.
Yes.
So I'd probably don't know if I'm going to use this.
I don't think I would use that feature, but I don't. You
but
never
it's
know.
probably for younger kids.
There's a lot of
probably.
features I don't use in the current games.
Yes.
so-
Certainly.
Yeah.
Have you run a pokeathlon at all? No.
You never know.
No.
Didn't you guys bake poffins?
Nope.
Can't say I did.
No.
I didn't. I actually liked contests back in the day, but I didn't compete now. Okay, and then I
Cool.
think the last thing to just quickly go over
We
it.
got an overview of the world map.
Yes, which
did.
a lot of water,
Yeah.
Too much water.
Yeah.
too much water.
I'm so excited.
It's. I mean, it's based on Hawaii, so there's a lot of smaller islands.
Oh, of course.
Yes.
I wonder if we're going to see the return of dive. I assume there'll be some kind of underwater
Whirlpool,
level.
we
of
might
Waterfall,
we
such.
might see the return of Saw.
I
Do you guys think we
some
will?
kind of Eon flute?
Like
oh,
it doesn't have
Saws
to,
in Sawing
Like
Latios.
flying, like
I thought
Nah,
it had something to
not
do with
the-
like a
yeah,
something
like
not the slasher
like a
film
chainsaw. No, yeah, I
Like,
do
what
believe
Pokemon
we
game were you
could.
playing?
I really enjoyed the like sweeping vantage of like flying on a Latios.
Yeah, I didn't
Or
do
us.
that.
it doesn't have to be Latios.
It could
exclusive,
be the new
you know?
type, of
Yeah.
course. Yes, certainly.
Solgaleo.
Yes,
Yeah.
Or
maybe.
Lumilo.
Lunala. I don't think I'd want to fly on the back of a Lunala.
gonna
It's
become a
probably a bit
meme
too
again.
spiky.
Incorrectly saying
but-
the names.
Okay, so I have a bit of a concern regarding this because I know that a prime criticism of Ruby and Sapphire
Too much
was
water.
that it had too much water. I would be curious to see. In this particular map, I don't see a boat of any kind, so I don't. But I take it there might be no boat of any
You
kind.
can't zoom in.
So
That's what I'm saying. Like maybe you're jumping on a Pokemon to visit these new islands. Well, we start on the far right island. I'm pretty sure. Is that the one we start on? Oh no, it's the far left. So
yeah, probably the far left
there's,
to be quite honest.
There's 4 islands there, and like 2 man-made ones, I think.
And I feel
don't
like
know.
there's probably 2 or 3 towns to an
Yeah,
island, so you
yeah.
probably are spending a lot of time on an island before you actually
Probably a
have
bit.
to make that.
They're bigger than
There'll
move over.
there'll be some kind of bullet train or underwater.
It
ferry
makes sense by the
system.
time you get your 3rd badge, you get surf or something.
Yes,
Mm.
certainly. But
What Adam's
I-
saying
I-
is that he doesn't want to surf between all these places all the time. You know.
Well, then you get fly right down the track and you fly back. It's how games always go.
well,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
but
true.
I think too many water routes again would be like a prime criticism of something that they've done in the past and wouldn't necessarily bring
so
anything.
recently as well.
So recently as well.
So,
especially with the
summing
remakes.
that up, Psychic, Steel, Sun Dude, Psychic, Ghost, Moon Dude.
Not the worst legendaries I've seen, but they're definitely bottom
Definitely
tier.
not the best. And then
I really like their designs. I'll just say it.
Yeah.
It's better than some of the designs that I've seen.
But okay, but let's
Legendary.
say
I
Xerneas
feel-
and Yveltal. I think Xerneas and Yveltal, like, we kind of criticized them at the time, Xerneas being like a deer looking like Stantler.
Yeah.
But Xerneas, I think it looks way cooler than these two.
No, I don't agree.
I like
don't-
Yveltal more than those
Yeah.
two, but I think Xerneas
Zygarde
is
trash.
Zygarde's trash.
Yeah.
I feel like Nintendo were kind of just like, alright
Hot
guys,
mess.
like the designs look awesome, so we just showed them the designs in the first trailer. Then after that, they were like, guys,
We need
We'll break it to them.
we have some stuff to tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, the typings you thought they were? Not those.
I just don't understand the rationale behind that. I still don't understand. But
Yeah.
anyway,
I feel like that's just how they broke it to us, and
Yeah.
I feel lied to.
Yeah. Well, to kind of link it up to E3, so, I mean, while we talked about this in the past, they've actually come back and said that a Pokemon Special and a Pokemon Go Q&A are confirmed for E3 2016. So,
So we are
what
getting
more
more stuff.
information could we get from this game?
I mean, Pokemon Go, there's a lot that
Already
hasn't
out
been
there,
announced.
but
The
there's still a
beta,
lot
yeah.
already out there, to be honest, through
Yeah.
beta testing.
But just, I think that not the average Joe Pokemon fan won't know. So I think there's still the actual announcements in gameplay footage, sort of stuff they could show and talk about there. So I think there is enough of Pokemon Go. But Pokemon Special, that's just Sun and Moon, right?
Well,
yeah,
they haven't
so
said
they'll be
anything
playing. They'll be
yet.
playing the game on Treehouse Stream.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, they could
But they've
announce.
still said Zelda's always playable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For media and stuff.
Do you want to go into E3 now, or do we touch on VGC?
Oh, we got lots more Pokemon to talk about.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
talk more about the Pokemon
We'll
stuff.
come back to
I
we'll come
agree.
back to E3.
Okay, so guys, we did mention this at the top of the show. Sunday, it was June the 2nd.
Ninth?
June the 9th, sorry. June the
Wait, what? No, 5th. My bad. My
June
bad.
the 5th, sorry.
Yeah, it's the 7th today.
It's the 7th today. June the 5th, we all competed and got ready. Bright and early. We were there at 9 a.m.
I think I was so busy thinking about stuff the night before, I only got about 2 or 3 hours sleep myself.
I was the same. I got 4 hours sleep, but for different reasons, I was out late. And
Karaoke?
Chris, how about yourself? Yes, karaoke was
Oh,
involved.
very good.
Um,
Yes. What was the question?
how was your morning in terms
Oh
of
no, my
getting
morning was
up?
fine. Yeah, I got up at about 6:30. Had
Yes.
avocado on toast. It
Yes.
was very good, very healthy breakfast. And then made my way to Cam's house. Then we went in at about 9ish, I'd say.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
pre-registration started at 9. We got the competition was meant to start at 10.
Yeah.
We all
Yeah.
got there at 9. We registered. Registration took
An hour.
Yeah, it was
Which
about
is
an hour.
typical
Yeah.
to what it always is.
They obviously got huge turnout, guys. I'd like to say well done to
Almost
Perth in
400
general.
people, wasn't it?
There was a
'Cause
lot of people there.
We got A, more than we did last year. B, more than they were expecting. And C, I think Nintendo were really happy because I think we beat Sydney as well. So
Yeah.
I think that's huge. I think Perth had a massive following in that sense, and well done to Perth for that.
Well, I genuinely think it's because of the Perth Pokemon community being so closely knit and so especially now with
Active,
the Perth challenges,
PCs,
the PCs, they're always happening and there's always ways to get involved.
Can we just talk about the table situation?
Yeah.
What's going on there?
Well, I think the Perth Town Hall probably said to them, "We have tables." They didn't question what tables they were. So for people who weren't there, these were circular tables, which doesn't necessarily conduce itself to a game where you are facing each other one-on-one.
It was bad.
But
it was bad.
But I think even the guys from Nintendo said that, you guys are the only people, that we've seen that are playing on round tables. Give yourselves a pat on the back.
Yeah, but I think that's just them covering it. I think something
They
happened
are
with the
covering
venue
up.
or something.
Probably something. Well, I actually saw later on during the day, in one of the offshoot rooms, because we talked about, Aaron, how they possibly underestimated capacity. They did have tables set up in other rooms.
Right, yeah.
And those tables eventually became rectangular.
So they were like trestles.
They were trestles in an effort to have it be more of a conducive battling environment.
It was pretty smooth for the most part. It was just really odd.
It was also quite hard because a lot of the chairs were fully pushed out and it was hard to navigate and move through the rooms. Whereas opposed to the Perth Arena where I felt like there was plenty of space to move.
Yeah.
But it was a good turnout, guys. I think we'll also be uploading a video fairly shortly, from our experiences of the day.
Yeah, we've
and
got a bit of
some other
footage, bit of
guys.
video footage, a few
Yeah.
interviews with some of the junior competitors.
But just quickly, how do we all do?
Well, so...
Start from the top.
So...
Oh, no, we won't start from the top.
Start from the bottom.
Well, no, we'll
Started from the bottom, now we're here.
start from the bottom, so we should start with one of you two, right?
Yeah, that's
All
it.
right. So,
So-
Chris, you can...
Well, I think Chris did better than I did.
Okay,
I'll
so
go first.
Cam, you can start.
So again, my position in this has been known for a while. I'm not super into this format. I haven't really put much thought or effort into it. Like I said, I
You
wasn't-
weren't even going to go at one point.
Yeah, basically. So I've put 20 minutes effort into getting my team together. Essentially, I just copy and pasted. So we got there. First round was almost a win, but I just got nailed by a Xerneas. Destroyed my second round. Two one-shot kills with an eruption, and then just rolled the team. Really nice guy. He was good afterwards. Third, I came up against this guy. Didn't really like him. He just came across really arrogant.
Oh, hang on now.
Adam finally realised.
Wait a minute.
Can we also say that, guys, as we're going through this, we actually found out of 120 or so people in the Masters Division.
126 people. Every round, we got
Yeah.
paired with someone from our friend group.
I think all in all, we versed someone in our friend group about 4 times.
Yeah.
Sorry, twice.
So-
Under 7 matches.
Yeah.
Yeah, my third round was me versus Adam. I think, Aaron, you got our match notes here.
I do have a little bit of match notes here. So, you elected to use Thunderous, Groudon, Kangaskhan, and Kyogre. I don't know what I ended up using Xerneas at some point. Anyway, it
at
was
some point to kill my team.
All I remember is Xerneas
For the whole
did the
duration.
job.
Just
So,
steamroll. And
But-
Xerneas-
What killed me is I actually got the taunt off on his Xerneas, so it didn't even have to
Geomancer.
for me. It just bloody dazzling gleamed my face off.
you know what the problem was as well? I genuinely thought I was going to lose at some point because my 2 Pokemon went down first.
I thought I was like,
And
I was
he
like,
was
oh,
up.
this is going to be good.
It was up, and then it was a kind of reversal of fortune where I had had one Pokemon out. It wasn't the Xerneas, I don't think, at the time. I think the Xerneas came a little bit later. And got in there, did a few attacks, was able to get his Thunderous and Groudon down, and then Kangaskhan and Kyogre had no shot against
Yeah,
a
they
Groudon
just-
that had
yeah.
come out and stopped his weather. So, I mean, that was a fun match. I thought. I really enjoyed it.
It was still a
'cause
good
it was
match.
quite
Yeah,
close.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun.
So that I ended up being 1 win, 2 losses. I had to leave. It was my fiance's birthday and boyfriend duties before Pokemon, unfortunately. So we went to Disney on Ice instead, which was fun, but it was certainly no VGC.
You'll see Cam's right up on that shortly.
Yeah, I've got a whole video on it.
Okay, but overall, I mean,
It was an enjoyable day. Look, and I'm sure I definitely know Chris will talk a bit about this. The Pokemon community, as much as we all love it and be a part of it, what I think everyone needs to do is be a bit more chatty, talk to people. Don't be so closed off. Like
The Pokemon
we
community
all,
is great for this, yeah.
yeah, we
get
all
that.
have the same interests. We're all
and
there
it's
for the same
quite
reason.
a niche interest, I must
Yeah,
say, to be honest.
So
Like,
just be a bit more.
If you can't talk about how your day's been, just talk about Pokemon at least.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'll leave Chris to finish that round.
No, it's
Yeah.
all good. It's all good.
so Chris, how was your day?
go?
Yeah, it was all right. I really enjoyed meeting as many people as I could and promoting the group, the Facebook group. So yeah, I mean, I didn't do the best with my matches. I think I went down 2-3. I did leave early as well. I forgot to tell anyone that I was leaving, so I ended up with my ledger said 2-5 at the
We
end.
kind of heard, saw Chris leave, and all of a sudden, the next match we heard, could Christmas Sarah please come?
Yeah, it's pretty embarrassing.
Did they get
So
your
if
name
any-
right? Did he get his name
Yeah.
right?
Chris-
I do think there was a real trend of that. Like, I think because, they came out and said, oh, it's 7 rounds.
It was rage.
I
quit.
had every intention to let them know that I was leaving. I just completely blanked.
Certainly.
So you did need to either have a full 7 wins or 6 wins and 1 loss to make top cut.
Yeah.
And 5 and
It was
2.
a very low chance of 5 and 2.
Yeah,
top eight,
And
no,
no 5 and
no
2s
5
made
twos
it
made
this
it.
time.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they were all 6-1s. There was 6 people. Oh, sorry, 7 people. who
I
had
thought I
6
saw a
ones.
5-2. He just had a high win,
percentage or something.
yeah.
Possibly, I didn't think there was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, my first match was up against Aaron. I think
Right
you
off
beat
the
me.
bat.
I think you beat me in the first
We
round.
walked
yeah.
in and the first lot of matches came up and we're excited to get in there and I look at the board and I see Aaron Apollos versus Christmas Star.
Yeah.
And your name's right at the top too, so they
Yes.
organised this in
AA.
alphabetical order. So
Yeah.
it's him and then
AA.
my name as like the
Yeah.
first
So
alphabetical
that
name
worked
to
out
the
quite
round.
well.
No, but I found that sort of the matches that I won, I steamrolled, and the matches, 2 of them that I lost 3 matches. 2 of them that I lost were very close, and it was only the 3rd match that I lost that was like a whitewash. So I was pretty happy with my effort overall. But yeah, it's a shame I couldn't stay the whole day. I also had a prior engagement.
Yep.
So, yeah, how'd you go,
Alright.
Adam?
Adam
I,
did well.
I would say it was my best VGC performance ever.
I would say that too.
But it's not that hard when you went from 0 wins with 1 bye to a 3-3 record overall. And I did drop the 7th round because at that point
Adam was very moody throughout the day.
I wouldn't say moody.
I think he was. I would say moody as
think-
well.
Every time there was a win, he thought he was a champion of the earth. Every
Well,
time he
no.
lost, he just didn't
Bipolar.
want to
Aaron, to be fair,
Adam was bipolar.
let me talk about my day because from the
Okay.
perspective
Right.
of the first round, I started off really poorly and I thought, oh,
It's
could
one
this,
of those days.
Could it be one of those days again? And then I got into that second round. I had a pretty... Oh, no, hang on. Actually, I should say the first round I did win. Sorry, I did win the first
So you were
round.
on top of the world at this point.
I was really happy. It was one of those rounds where I didn't drop a Pokemon. It was quite good. But by that same token, it felt like a bit of a gimme because it wasn't... It was more of a fun team. So I went up against all EV team.
Yep.
Which was
How
fun.
do you get these teams? And I'm stuck with
There was a
like,
It's
lot, there was a
luckily
lot
a
of fun
draw.
teams going around.
It's a lot of-
I didn't get any of
teams.
them.
There was one guy, and I want to really give this guy props, who used a full Ash Ketchum team.
yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
But
yes, so after that round, riding high. The next round, I lose, and it's kind of close, but kind of not. The guy who from my notes, I think his name is Hugh. I did actually. It was kind of like a 2-2 match at that point. So I dropped 2 of his Pokemon, but it wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
And he actually did quite well at the end of the day in terms of the rankings. And then round 3, obviously, with Cameron. So that was a pretty convincing
Adam got
win.
matched with Cameron. I got matched with Chris.
Yeah.
And then round 4 was also a pretty convincing win in terms of I very quickly dropped all 4 of his Pokemon. And then that kind of had me going on a 3-1 record going into the lunch break. So I felt really good about that the whole day. And I came back to lunch and lost my next 2 matches. And so I thought, I should go home because I'm not going to make top cut.
Yeah.
But it was a fun day. It really had a lot of fun. And we all had different experiences. And it was just... I did feel like it was better organised. Like it went faster
Once they got started,
it went
it took
faster.
forever to get started.
But it took forever to get started.
Props
But,
to Nintendo for that.
Yeah, I do think something as well. I think Nintendo had more good games. The people from Good Games where they're actually helping
out
out
as
the
well,
Nintendo
yeah.
staff as well. And I would hope that would continue because they've done it so many times.
That was a
they
really
ran
good
it a
kind
lot
of
faster.
liaison.
Yeah.
Everyone's working well together.
But overall, that was my experience. And I guess so. Let's save the best for last.
Pass
Aaron.
it to Redcoin's resident Pokemon expert
Yes.
nowadays.
Yeah, apparently.
A resident
how
Pokemon
was-
breeder.
How was your
He
experience?
loves to breed Pokemon.
And
That just sounds seedy.
how do you feel about it?
Some hot whale.
All in all, my day was good. Like I said, I went in there with only a few hours sleep the night before because obviously I've been competing in the PCs. I've been playing a lot of people. I've been keeping a close eye on the metagame.
Yeah.
And that did kind of turn out well on the day. I went in there. My first match was against Chris.
What are the odds?
I know.
What are the odds?
If
If I was going to lose to anyone, Aaron, it was going to be you, and I was happy to give you that one.
I feel that. So I went my first 4 matches with wins. One was against Chris. One was against another good friend of mine, Sam. The other one was against another person I met on the day from the Pokemon community called Ethan, who was also very good. I feel all 4 of the first 4 matches I won were all really close matches as well. So I was quite happy.
And you had a few things go your way. That's why I think something is interesting about this
they were
format.
genuinely good battles, which I was quite happy with.
I feel like a lot of it is getting that anticipation right. Like if you anticipate the move correctly, it really gives you the advantage.
Yeah,
and
and it, most of the time it's just that one turn. If you have one really good turn, you're set up for the rest of the match.
I think even after those 4 matches, I was feeling pretty good, but I wasn't feeling overly confident just because they would all been so close. But I was still feeling quite happy with myself for doing
But
it.
you got through those close ones, yeah.
After that, I made it to pretty much like the top tables where all the people who were also 4-0 were sitting.
Where they serve you scotch and they massage you.
And
I felt that point after lunch as well. So like I was
You
on
got
like
the
table. I didn't get no scotch, but I was pushing near the scotch. I was at
I
table
sat
11.
down at this table and
Yes.
I got steamrolled by I think a guy called Francis, who is quite a good player.
Okay.
Yeah, he absolutely steamrolled me. I tried all I could, but yeah.
So it was
Tried
4
so
zip.
hard.
I take it. 4
no,
zip.
yeah.
Did you drop a Pokemon at least?
I dropped 1. I think.
Yeah.
I dropped his Infernape because he opened up with Infernape and
That's awesome.
Xerneas from memory.
Yeah.
And pretty much his goal was to get Geomancy off on Xerneas. Normally, I could do things like Encore it, or I could, get some priority moves off on Xerneas.
Sure.
But Infernape was just all over it with Quick Guard.
I feel like I only had
yeah.
one loss where I didn't beat any of his Pokemon. So
Yeah.
like that felt, and
I
even
was
that
just-
guy was pretty.
I was just
nice
throwing
and had a
stuff
good
at this
team,
guy, and none of it was working.
Just bouncing straight off.
Xerneas
Yeah.
got Geomancy off, and I just got steamrolled.
Know how you feel, man.
So that after my 4 wins, I got my first loss, and I was all right. Yeah, a bit rattled. You guys are taking off at this point, I
was like,
think.
damn.
So
I'm not as good
Yeah.
as I thought I was.
But I was still with you at that point.
Yeah,
and
yep.
So you were like
And then I
going
had my
into that
5th
6th
match.
round being like,
I was still feeling pretty good, and then
Yeah.
I got matched against another friend of mine. So this is, I think, the fourth person I knew throughout the day.
yeah.
A good friend of mine, Lionel, and he's just always been a better Pokemon player than me, in my opinion. He just did well, and I made a lot of rookie errors, like things like forgetting when Trick Room was up, and forgetting who protected the turn before. And
Lionel has that effect.
That's
on
something
people.
I felt like I want to talk to that as well. So they do permit you to take notes. And this was the first time I think at a VGC that I really took like focused notes.
Yeah, I did too.
I was
First time for me.
taking notes, I was writing stuff down, but then when I was making my decisions on my moves, I wasn't acknowledging them at that point.
Yeah.
You weren't
I
consulting
think at that
those
point it was
notes.
just a long day. It was the 6th battle of the day. I was quite tired. I just...
But to your point, Aaron, I think that you weren't used to using the notes yet. So
Yeah.
if you keep using, then you will refer back to it when you need to, and you instinctively
Oh,
look at your notes.
definitely, like,
and then
after
you
that,
won't be able to
after
play
that.
without notes.
Yeah.
Because that information is truly invaluable in terms of like knowing what kinds of moves like.
Because I forget the moves all the time.
Oh yeah, well, like that match that I lost, I was going up against a Slowbro, for instance, and I noticed that it kept on using Psychic. It wasn't using this water attack,
Yeah.
so that influenced me thinking, well, obviously that doesn't have a water attack,
Yeah.
so maybe I can try
Or
and
it's
hit
like
it with
scarfed or
something.
specs or something.
Maybe
right?
I can take a little bit more risk and have my fire
Yeah, and these are the
Pokemon
things you got to
out.
think about in this competitive play. So that went on. I had my 6th match. I don't remember how it went, but it was a good battle. I won.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it. All in all, so I finished off 5-2 for the day.
yeah. Sorry, that was your 7th match, you mean?
Yeah.
7th match,
Yeah.
yep,
Yes.
sorry. All in all, I finished 5-2 for the day.
Yeah.
I finished 16th.
Yes.
So I missed out on Top Cut, which is top 8.
Well
But
done,
that out of
well done.
126
Yeah.
or so total players,
Yeah.
and a few had dropped out at that point ultimately.
I feel like the people I ranked around, I was about the same skill level at anyway, so I quite enjoyed it. All in all, good day. I stayed back right to watch the top 8 finals.
Yeah. And when did those finish? Did that finish at around
6:30 at
midnight.
night.
6:30? Wow.
Jeez.
Yeah,
It's a
we
long
got out of
day.
there.
Long
But
day.
all the battles from the top 8 were just, I think, mind-blowing matches where anything that was put on that big screen, because for anyone that wasn't there, you had one-on-one battles, but certain battles were selected to be put on a big projector screen.
Yes.
All the battles that I saw on the projector screen out of the top 8 were amazing battles. And
Well, the top 8 best of 3, by the way.
yes, they were.
Okay.
So the best of
That's-
3
that's-
plus, and I think everyone that was watching these, like in the hall, was just chanting and screaming. Was like it was a genuine esport that people were like,
That's cool.
really getting behind.
One year I do want to stay till the end, just because even though if I'm not doing too well,
Yeah.
you can always have friendly battles and do trading or
Oh,
whatever. so-
definitely.
just
I
meet
think
people.
I just think in previous years I've done so bad that I haven't been motivated to stay. This year I was motivated to stay more than anything. It was just a thing of like I actually had other things to do, and so did Cam and so did Chris.
Yeah.
It is tricky when you put lots of like this year for me it wasn't so bad because like I didn't put that much effort in, but like previous years when you put the hours of work in and then you lose like
It's devastating.
you're just like
Yeah.
ugh,
I hate everything about this
I'm
game.
done.
Everyone,
Like,
Yeah.
I'm not,
Why do I want to
I mean,
subject
I
myself to this?
I probably put the most time in, but at the end of the day, I'm still happy with my results as
Yeah,
well.
definitely.
So,
You should be. Fuck
Yeah,
you.
no, that's-
100%.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think we all
I think you
went in
deserve
with
a round
team-
of applause.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think we all went in with quite diverse teams, not just the cut and paste standard for the most part. We all had our own little changes in some way.
Yeah.
And I think everyone quite enjoyed the day. So thank you, I guess, Nintendo Australia for putting this on.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you for Good Games in Cannington for also helping out. Thank you to everyone in the community for such an awesome turnout.
Yeah.
Yeah, great day all up.
And we'll see you next year.
Um,
Hopefully with more rectangular tables.
Yeah.
Less legendary.
Yeah,
and
it's
now,
more diverse.
with that last week out the way, we can move on to what's coming up in the week ahead,
The
which is just
future.
as exciting, if not more
The
exciting.
future.
I'm more excited.
That's right, people. It is time for the yearly Sunflower Festival.
E3
You guys-
hype train. The E3 hype train is in full effect.
I'm excited for the Sunflower Festival.
So,
Can we acknowledge the Sunflower Festival?
No, we can't.
No, we
E3 is happening, guys.
no, the train is kept moving along with or without the Sunflower Festival fans. So, yes, E3 is next week.
What's E3?
It is a
Electronics Entertainment Expo.
yes.
Ah.
Yes.
That's where the 3 E's come from.
Easy.
1, 2, 3. Look, I'll be honest. I've not been very keen for this E3, and it's probably been my least hyped E3 in a while.
They've
Let's be
been
honest,
getting
they dropped the ball.
progressively
They
not
dropped
as
the ball
exciting.
last year.
They are.
We said this after E3 last year.
We did.
said-
And I mean, this year in particular, it's also quite nerve-wracking because we know nothing of their new console. We thought we were going to get stuff about their new console, which was going to
Nope.
excite us.
And then probably a month or two ago, they came out and said, "Sorry, Zelda is all you're going to really see."
Yeah.
But then now they've also reneged on that a little bit and saying that it's not Zelda is only going to be the only game that's playable. There will be other games shown.
We mentioned it earlier in the episode that we are getting Pokemon Go
Yep.
and
Yes.
the Pokemon Special.
So I still,
Yes.
I still think Pokemon Legend of Zelda is still going to be the only playable game.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think
But there
we're
will be-
still going to see a lot more from Pokemon Go,
Yeah.
Pokemon Sun and Moon, and we're going to see.
There's
more
also
from Zelda.
there's also a
Pokemon
little bit of
Snap
third
U.
party stuff I want to talk about. No Pokemon
Yeah.
Snap Wii U, unfortunately. Monster Hunter Generations,
Yeah.
Which
Dragon,
is, no, it's going to be huge.
which
It
is
will be
going to be
Shut that off,
huge.
yeah.
Dragon Quest 7 Fragments of the Forgotten Past, which I've never played any Dragon Quest games.
Still a
but
massive
Very
franchise.
popular.
Yeah.
very popular games.
These are all big titles.
And
In
also
Japan,
Tokyo
yeah.
Mirage Sessions FE, which is
Looks interesting, but just I don't
But
care.
not my
Yawn-
kind of game.
Yawntastic.
Um,
So how do you guys feel about Pokemon now kicking off the Treehouse stream? Zelda's been pushed back a bit.
I think it's the right
And
decision.
it's got a bigger market.
Yes,
A bigger target audience,
certainly.
definitely.
And it comes out this year.
Well, exactly.
So I mean, with how many months? Is it 5 more months to go
Yeah,
till that
5
game
months.
comes out? I think now is the best time to be talking about it because they don't have much else.
And they really should have been talking about it. I don't know why they wouldn't.
Yeah,
I don't know
why
why
would
they
they
would.
talk about it at E3? And I think it's tough because who in their media team is messaging this and saying, "Oh, only Zelda will be playable"? No, we actually meant only Zelda will be playable, but we're actually showing other games.
Yeah,
And
it's
like,
pretty.
It's poor messaging, and I don't see where the messaging. So is it like Nintendo of Japan are being so controlling with what
Stop
It is.
playing
information
mind
comes
games
out.
with us.
It is, yeah. It's all
Because
Nintendo
it's not
Japan,
Nintendo
yeah.
of America
Yeah.
that I think are
So
are
maybe it
dropping
was
the
like
ball
a
here.
poor translation over one email that got sent or whatever, and then like the whole time they've thought this, and then it's like, oh no. So
What-
yeah, I don't know.
What if like Nintendo America like just mistranslated months to years?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
Zelda,
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's
Oh,
coming out in two
guys,
months,
Yeah.
2 years.
I actually
Yeah.
genuinely wanted to talk about this as part of an E3 prediction, which might shock you all.
Okay.
So this was a tweet.
Prepare.
No,
Yeah.
Wait, hang on. No NX.
This is not NX
Okay, good, because
related.
NX is banned on the
This
podcast.
is not
and
NX
so-
related. This is Mario Kart 8 related.
Oh,
So
I know what you're talking about.
You
Yes,
do
go
know what
ahead.
I'm talking about. Good. So,
Okay, I'm ready to be
the
shocked.
Nintendo of Europe account recently tweeted a couple of days ago a photo of cars on Kalahari Desert, which is an old Nintendo 64 track. And they said the following. So, let me bring this
Any
out.
pictures?
It said, so it was a photo of Toad and Wario collapsing near the Kalahari Desert train, which
Yeah.
we
Okay.
know is in part of the game. And it said, good things come to those who wait. Hashtag MK8.
What? Let's see this.
This is a true tweet from an official Nintendo account. Could
So- okay.
this mean... Okay, so there's a few interpretations going around based on this.
Yeah,
The first is more DLC tracks for Mario Kart 8.
that is the logical
Which is
one,
the logical progression. The second could be that of a battle mode that was in Mario Kart 64.
Okay,
And
the good one.
The good things come to those who wait, being that a lot of people questioned why battle mode wasn't included in Mario Kart 8, and now it might be included.
You look excited,
I would
Aaron.
love there to be.
Well, I just want to clarify, there is a battle mode, it's just not a good battle mode. It uses the entire map rather
It's
than...
so bad we
certainly.
forgot about it.
I really don't feel like we're getting more tracks. So battle mode would make a lot of sense.
I don't
And
know.
then the third thing, I just want to finish off by saying the third thing could be that the intern forgot to put the hashtag Mario Kart 64 and put Mario Kart 8 by mistake and made that mistake on the
That's
account.
now that you said that, that's actually probably what it is.
But to combat that, this account, it wasn't just the Nintendo of Europe account, it was like localized European accounts that
so
tweeted
it was
this.
done multiple
there
times.
were other
Okay.
Nintendo accounts where it was
so
tweeted multiple
that
times.
probably
So
was it retweeted or was it tweeted again?
it was tweeted
Okay,
as
so it wasn't
as
like
a tweet.
retweeted. Okay, interesting.
I'm going to guess
The
just
Twitterverse
more
is alive.
classic maps.
I do believe if it's a new, if it's new tracks, it's all going to be all classic.
Yeah.
And I think this might be a thing that they commissioned after they realized, well, we've got nothing coming out.
Yeah.
And maybe it's something that they commissioned at the start of the year, like, operas these.
Yeah,
Because we have
yeah.
been told Smash Bros, nothing more, but we never heard that from Mario Kart 8. We just got
They
Yeah,
did
you're-
never
you're-
confirm it. They
you're right.
kind of inkled towards it, but they never definitively said this is the last Mario Kart 8 track.
Would you guys rather see more tracks or would you rather see a battle mode?
battle.
I would rather see.
More tracks, honestly,
Well,
because battle mode...
why don't we have both? To be honest,
a
you know?
better battle
Yes.
mode would be
I would pay for both.
be great, but I think
Same.
you're going to be playing less battle mode realistic.
I do think so too. I think
Unless
like,
it's online, which it would be.
Yeah,
but
true.
online battle mode on those old maps, because like to me those old maps don't age very well. Like I played battle mode on some of those maps, and it's tough.
Block
I
Fort was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like I've played a lot of Block Fort in my life. And it's on 3D. Like, doesn't 3DS have a battle mode?
Yeah, the 3DS
Yeah,
one
yeah,
is
yeah.
good
So
as
it
well.
does-
It's always the GameCube one.
And it's
but
pretty good. And the GameCube one's good.
Yeah.
And the DS one is good because it has some of the
I think
GameCube
the Wii one
tracks.
might have been good as well. I don't know.
So I don't know. I really like to see what happens with this announcement. And I'm sorry to
Yeah.
drop this guys
No.
on you, but I did just think about it as we
Oh,
were
it's exciting.
talking. All right. Okay, so
That's cool.
we don't have much by way of predictions, I think. So
Well, just on
We
the
kinda
on
know
the subject
what
of Mario Kart, I just want to ask a question. Say they do bring in classic tracks. You have one track that you can bring back from a previous game. What is it?
Oh, okay.
that hasn't been brought back already.
That hasn't, or yeah,
Well,
obviously
hasn't.
the hardest.
It can
part
be
of
a
this question-
redone. So like, it could be something that they brought out for Mario Kart 7, but didn't port across to 8.
You know what? I want to see DK Mountain come back.
Okay.
I like DK Mountain a lot.
DK Mountain
Okay.
from
GameCube.
wasn't that already
No.
remastered? It wasn't.
It was remastered, but it wasn't on 8.
Oh,
So
that is a great.
They
track.
do bring back tracks a lot.
Yeah.
So
I'd love to see a remastered Wario Stadium for Mario Kart
Yes.
64.
Another great
Yeah.
stage, yeah.
or maybe some of the GBA tracks. We've seen a lot of the GBA tracks come out and be good.
Yeah.
Not Cheeseland, not my personal favorite, but I
Cheeseland.
do like the art style.
Trash.
And Ribbon Road.
Ribbon Road's good though.
So maybe maybe more of those GBA ones. That I
Let's
don't
get
really
another
know.
Rainbow Road.
I would
No.
like to see Cooper Beach. That's my favorite track.
That is great. Yeah.
I agree. Well,
my favorite one ever.
can I say Blockport?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Go for it.
Yeah, Blockport.
That as a race, that would be
Yeah,
really
yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
Like just curling between each
Yeah.
thing, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
cool.
Yeah,
Alright.
let's do that.
So
What else we got, Adam?
that's
Ukulele
most of the
stuff?
news, isn't it? Oh yeah, ukulele.
Yes. So we had a wonderful trailer come out.
This
Really
made me
well
warm
done.
and fuzzy inside watching this during the week.
Good.
This game looks incredible. It
Soundtrack.
hit everything, soundtrack, gameplay looked great. It really evoked, but was like modern.
own thing, yeah.
Yeah, you know, it evoked those senses of those games in the past, but it looked really good. Delayed until 2017, but it's Q1,
Yep.
which is fine because I wanted them to have the
any
time
of the
to do
Kickstarter
this.
funders hear about this before the trailer came out?
No.
Not to my knowledge. I did not get
I
any
saw it
email
on, I
about
saw it
it.
on NeoGAF, and then it was in my inbox like minutes later. So yeah, it was pretty close.
Okay,
Certainly.
so at least they did the right thing and notified the funders first.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right,
relatively fast,
probably
yeah.
right. I mean, there was already 5 pages on NeoGAF by the time I got the email, so I don't know.
Yeah,
But yeah, I echo your sentiments, Adam. It looks really good.
yeah.
And I can't wait to play it.
I'm happy if they drag it out a bit longer.
Oh, yeah.
To make it a polished game.
Certainly.
Yeah,
But by
100%.
that point, I probably want to switch versions, to be honest.
That's what I'm thinking as well. So I don't know what will happen. Yeah.
To that. But I think I really do hope, like, at least with a game like Kickstarter, you have more of an inkling that, like, well, the game's coming out.
Yeah.
And it's got the backing. So, however many people have backed that thing already and are excited for it and are going to play it.
And Playtonic have also said that they're actually handling the Wii U version in-house. So they're not getting an external company to do the port. With the PS4 and Xbox One version, they're getting another studio to do the port from the
okay.
PC version. So yeah, the PS4 and Xbox One is going to be a port of the PC version, and the Wii U will be standing on its own.
Just because of the gamepad.
I'd say that they want
Yeah.
to pay special attention to the gamepad, or maybe because it's got its own architecture, the Wii U, so maybe they want to make sure it's done right.
Which is
so,
great news. Could be the first game we ever see the gamepad used right.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I would be curious.
No, Darksiders 2.
I genuinely will wait to see what the reviews are like because we know how ports can be received.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm excited. Again, I'm not paying too much attention to it because it's 2017.
Yep.
Okay, I think one more thing before we go.
Yeah,
if that's
sure,
cool.
sure.
Oh,
Okay.
we got
I
plenty
think this
of
is
time.
pretty cool. So we know Nintendo love to make great merch, right?
Yep.
You know, amiibos. But so now while it was announced back a while ago that fans were working with Nintendo for an apparel line of some kind and a new range of sneakers, the wait is over and it's going to be released. It was released in America and it's going to slowly distribute around the world sometime this month too.
I'm just looking at the stuff now. I really like it. I'm getting this stuff.
So
some of it looks kind of lame, to be honest. Like, some of it feels very forced.
there are some cool things. So look, let me just detail some of the stuff. So there's things like high top sneakers with the classic NES logo, Mario in a more colourful design.
Game
and-
over on the souls.
Yeah, game over on the soles as well, which is something that's cool. A hat that says game over, even slide sandals that say game over on them, a more colourful like Donkey Kong influenced tropical purple shirt, which is quite cool as well. So it's definitely got the Vans sort of spin on it,
Damn.
rather than just being like, damn Daniel, back at it again with the white
Back at
Vans.
again with the Mario Vans!
But
Daniel!
so rather than talk about a dated reference for the internet, man, you know,
All your
like,
base are belong to
No
us.
one is going to understand this.
I
from,
genuinely
like, 3
think
weeks.
that this is like, because Nintendo, we know that they do make their own apparel. In Australia, at least, JJ's have worked with
Yeah,
Nintendo in the
they've got
past
some really
to
good
offer some
shirts.
Nintendo
So keep an
apparel.
eye out, guys. This
Yeah.
stuff is going to be hot.
I think it's
off the
available in
shelves.
August or maybe it's October or
Sometime.
something.
It might be, and I imagine it will be available on the internet at prices. But basically, it was one of those things where I looked at it and I was like, shut up and take all my money.
Yes.
So I will
I'll have a
be
look at them.
definitely buying
That's
some
good.
stuff. You'll be buying...
Yeah,
Chris,
definitely.
we all
I might
know.
check
Nice pair
out
of
some of
shoesies.
the designs, but yeah, probably won't be spending too much on them.
Yeah.
I might get a pair of
expensive.
shoes, maybe a beanie or something.
Cool. I mean, we all kind of have levels of Nintendo apparel that we have as well, which kind of speaks
I like
to our
the
family of the
shirts, so.
game. So, Yeah, cool.
Don't forget that it's a new month, so your new Pokemon is available. Manaphy.
Yeah,
It's,
Manaphy's available now,
on the
guys.
internet.
Why would you want it? It's a
We've got
crappy
the- we got
Pokemon.
Just
the-
fill your decks out
It's-
with
yeah, it's
them,
via-
and you get a free legendary.
It's
if you
via-
breed
You never
with
know
them.
when you're going to
Via
get it.
mystery gift? It's via mystery.
Yeah, mystery.
It is via mystery gift,
Yeah.
as last month was the code.
And guys, you should get it because it's the only legendary you can breed.
Well, this
It
Manaphy comes in at level 100 and features Tail Glow, Water Sport, and Bubble.
And it's holding an item. It's holding a weird item. I can't. Does it mention it?
No,
sources?
we don't have any.
Or something.
items.
Oh, it's King's Rock. It's holding a King's
okay.
Rock.
That
Not
is
sure
weird.
why. Maybe it's random, but yeah. And look, as always, like, subscribe, share, comment on YouTube, iTunes, Facebook. Definitely check out the Facebook page. We've got a few more people interested over at the VGC
Yep.
comp this time. So the more people we have, the more people hear us.
And
that's what we want.
yeah, just wait until our next episode regarding E3, guys. I'm sure
that'll
there's going to be lots for us to talk about.
Post E3.
It's going to
be
be
great.
huge. It's going to be
Yes.
huge. So
Hopefully.
we'll talk to you
Hopefully
about
that
soon.
Mario Kart news is real.
If you guys have any predictions yourself, send it through.
Send them through.
Send it through.
You can be on the show.
We're taking bets.
Big shout out to the guys at the VGC comp, Riley and who's the other guy?
Kieran.
Kieran, of course. I couldn't
Two
forget. They got a-
seniors.
They got a big poker future
Yep.
ahead of them.
They both made Top Cut.
How
Top
many
8.
poker puns can we load into this one podcast?
4.
So yeah, well done to those guys.
I mean,
Well done to
poker
everyone
for-
who competed. I think everyone did quite well.
Yeah.
And we'll be talking to you all again shortly. Keep an eye out for our VGC Regionals video.
Love,
Yes.
love yourself and love everyone else.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, guys.